everyone, you're welcome to Addie's Chat. My name is Adiola. Most people call me Addie. Thank you so much for clicking today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, really. Thank you. Really appreciate you all. Yes, long time no chat, really. It's been ages, really, since I actually sat down and had a proper chat with everyone. How is everyone doing? How is everything going? Yes, there's been a lot. I have been posting a lot of other stuff back to back. It's just I just thought that it would be nice for people to get to know me outside of talking about savings and budgeting, and maybe just show other things that I do, really. And thank you for everyone for all the likes, people that are liking it. Thank you to people that have started following me on TikTok. Thank you so much. If you don't do that, just follow me on TikTok. It's still Addie's Chat, really. I do quite a bit on TikTok. I think it's fun. I like it anyway. So if you're about that, you can follow me on there. Yes, so today I thought I'll do a sit down, just a relaxed chat, nothing about savings and budgeting as such, but I just wanted to talk about my trip to Nigeria, really. I wanted to talk about how I really felt about going to Nigeria. For those that don't know, actually, I am Nigerian. Yes, I've been living in England for a few years, really, but I am actually born, bred, raised, buttered in Nigeria, really. I was born in Ibadan in Oyo State. So, but I'm not from your state. I'm from Osun State. That wouldn't, if you understand, you understand. But that doesn't really matter that much. I am Nigerian anyway. So I wanted to talk about my experience, how I really felt going back to Nigeria. I haven't been in Nigeria in a long time before the time I went. I think it was approximately, maybe was it 11 or 12 years I haven't been in Nigeria before the time I went. Before this, was it December I got back? Yes. I haven't been for maybe 12 years. I think I left in October. That was not the first time I left Nigeria. I'd been a few years before that time. I used to go back and forth, really. There were a few years, a couple or 3 years where I would go to Nigeria 2 or 3 times a year. Yes, but then I just stopped going really for a long time. But anyway, not that I would start going again 2 or 3 times in a year. I would go. I don't think I'm going to be there anytime soon anyway. So let's just leave it that way. Yes, but yeah, my experience going to Nigeria, it wasn't I had known for just right before the pandemic. I kind of said that I was going to go to Nigeria. I think 2020 was the year I was going to go traveling a few places in 2020, but then we had the pandemic hit, so I didn't really do any of that, and I was planning to go to Nigeria in 2020. So I just kind of packed that idea, and I thought, when at some point there will be something will come along and I will be able to go, but I wasn't going to make such an effort about it, or such no, I think an effort is the wrong thing to say. I wasn't going to really push for it. If something comes along and I can go, I will go. If not, really, I wouldn't go. And I kind of put a budget around how much I would spend, because if you know, tickets to Nigeria are quite expensive for me, and this is my own opinion, really. I would rather go on a nice holiday that I really I want to enjoy, somewhere I want to experience with that type of money. So that really puts me off going to Nigeria a lot of times, because the tickets are quite expensive, and I'm not really doing anything. Not that I'm not enjoying the place, but it's a place I've been to before. I'd rather explore somewhere else. But that's just me, really. So when the opportunity came up, the opportunity actually came up due to the fact that for a few years now, I've been saying I do want to start a business in Nigeria. I want to do something. I had something in mind. I just wanted to do something, really, do a business, get something else that would connect me more to Nigeria, that would make me really want to go. My sister, on the other hand, she's been going to Nigeria back and forth. She's been going quite frequently, yes. So we have been talking about starting a business again, all this pre-pandemic, we did talk about starting a business, what we were going to do, what the business was going to be. Really, we talked about a lot of things, explored our options, and the pandemic came, so we kind of packed that again. So as we were coming out of it gradually, I think 2021 we started talking about it again, to say that we're going to definitely start this business, and we put out we put our feelers about what we wanted to do. Really, I didn't, to be honest, I don't think, we definitely didn't want to do what people might suggest or say this is what's going to work. Really, for me, I think it's important that as a business, really, you do have to have passion for what you do. If you want to start a business, you have to have a bit of passion. There must be a story behind it. There must be a reason why you're doing it, really, because the first few years probably will be a bit of a struggle, a challenge. And if you don't really have passion, if there's nothing beneath or behind you're doing it, you might fall through the cracks. A lot of businesses fail in the first 2 or 3 years, and we didn't want us to be like that. So we kind of planned. We probably, the plan was maybe in motion for more than a year. Really, we looked for agents, and a lot of this plan, I want to do another video, and so maybe I won't talk a lot about it, about how to set up a business in Nigeria, really. Just to give a bit of a background, I have a small business in UK, where I do party, as party entertaining. Mostly I do children's party. I think I've done 40th before, really, and that type of thing, hosting it, doing party packs, doing the kind of doing all the behind the scenes. But it's not weddings, it's nothing that elaborate. It's most of the things I do are quite down to earth and quite yeah, just kids having fun. I do a lot of things around children, so the party planning thing came to me quite natural. So and my sister's been in Nigeria. She's been back and forth in Nigeria, so she understood the market, understood the people, and so it was easier. Really, I didn't have to do much research. So from here we found, from when I say from here, from sitting at home, really, we were able to contact a few people, and we found agents all over the place. So we found, I think we started with about 4 or 5 agents, really. And what I noticed about these agents really was, from the get-go, when we were looking at properties, because we were both women and we were telling them about this business, there was a little bit of holding back, really. I think because maybe they thought that we're not capable enough to. I don't know the reasons behind it. I shouldn't really speculate, but there was a lot of holding backs from agents were holding back. So we dropped some of them along the way. But there was one particular one that was one good friend of mine actually found him for us, and it was good. He showed us. He started taking us around a lot of properties. We planned the time around the time that my sister was there, so he started taking us to see properties and things. I remember one funny incident, maybe not so funny, where somebody had given us the documents to film, and we're written our names. We're both women. We wrote our guarantor as a I think as a lady as well. And they kind of they started questioning everything, really. They just wanted us to have a man write something there. That it didn't take me by surprise, I'll be honest, but I just thought that type of, we would have moved away from that type of lifestyle, that type of, I don't know, whatever, that type of nonsense. Anyway, that's really how I see, we would have moved away from it, really. So I said to the person, yes, it's 2 women starting this business. We are both in full-time employment, really. We're both responsible for ourselves, and we can, and what proof do you need? Any other proof? Do you need to see our bank account details? Do you need to do any checks on us? We're happy for you to do that, but I'm not just going to bring someone that's a man, whether they're jobless. I'm not just going to bring them to you to sign on my behalf. We're capable enough of doing this, and if you're not happy to proceed with us, we're also fine with that. So I think we kind of cut that there. We kind of moved away from there. And then we found this person, this one agent that was actually good, that was taking us around. When he started taking us around, before my sister got to Nigeria, he wanted to show us a few properties. So I wanted people that we were trusted, people that I knew, to go and look at the properties. So I have two people that I know, one friend of mine and somebody else. So I gave the agent their details for them to go along to go and view the property really. But this was the agreement. I remember calling the agent and saying to him that when you find a property, you contact me or my sister, give us the address, give us the information about the landlord, give us any information that we ask, give us, and then I would tell you whoever's going to go and check the property, whether it's A or B. These are the people that I'm using. I will tell you the people. Do you know straight away what this agent was doing was, when he found the property, the first ever time we had agreed on that, when he found the property, he sent the property straight through to the two guys that I was using in Nigeria, without showing me, sent it straight through to them, telling them to come and check the property. And one of them, I think, went to check the property, and in the evening of that day, he came back to me and said, "Oh, this is the property sent to me. This is what I think about the property. I did a recording for you and all of that." And I was like, hold it. He didn't send me any property, so I wasn't, and I don't know the location. I don't know anything. I don't really know whether this will be good for us, because none of us, we're on WhatsApp. How did he send you the location? On WhatsApp, he said. I said, we're on WhatsApp, myself and my sister, and the instruction was that you send it to us and we will decide if this is an area we want to go to. If some of the things match what we're looking for, then we will go and view. We will not just go and view any property. So I said, I don't really understand why you also went to view the property without telling us about it. But that wasn't a big deal, really. I let that go. Then a second property, again, what he did was, and I actually messaged the agent to say, when you have a property, just show it to me first, and then I'll decide if we're coming to view it, really, or show it to my sister. Then we'll decide if we're sending somebody to come and view it. The next one that happened, he found another property and he messaged these two guys again, all on WhatsApp. And myself, my sister, the two guys are on WhatsApp, and he messaged both of them really without messaging us. So this time I was like, there's definitely something wrong. I think we're not understanding each other. So I was saying to the other guy that went to look at the property for us, I called him and I said, you know what, I'm actually going to mention it to this agent, because I've seen this, there are a lot of things that have happened in the process of us setting up this business that I think they're not right. We shouldn't be doing this. In 2022, we shouldn't be doing this anymore. And if I see something, I will call it out. The same, anybody that knows me knows that if I see something and I'm not comfortable, I will call it out, really. Except it doesn't matter to me. I can walk away. But most times, even if it doesn't, I will call it out. So I said to this second guy, I said to him that I'm going to say to the agent, I'm going to say to him that, you remember, I have said it again. I've said it before, and then I said it again the last time this happened, that you have to show us the property first, really. And this other guy was like, no, don't do that. Don't say to him. He's going to be really upset with you. He won't want to be your agent anymore. And I was like, for goodness sake, if he doesn't want to be my agent anymore, that's fine. I'll find somebody else. He said, oh, it's going to be difficult, especially because we're not on ground to find another agent. I was like, I don't really care. We can put everything on hold, but we need to correct these things, really, because we're trying to raise a different generation, a different type of people. When we see these things, sometimes people don't know it's not right, really. When we see these things, you need to correct them, really. And he said, no, don't do that. I called the agent anyway, and I said to him, I said, honestly, I just need to speak to you about this situation. I think that there is a misunderstanding here. This is what the situation is. Myself and my sister own the business. We're paying for the shop. You need to show us the shop first. And honestly, straight away, apologized and said that yes, I'm right, he needs to show us first. And that continued. We just it was showing us, and that's how we got to this property that we bought. And it was it's a really good property. It was owned by, and I'm very happy to say that as well, it's owned by an elderly lady as well. She is really good. So that I don't know if that made it easy. I don't think it really mattered, but she was happy to have us as women, really. She just we gave her the details of our job. She wanted to know what we were selling, and it was just normal questions, like normal human beings will relate to each other, really. And that's how we closed that. So now getting back to my going to Nigeria itself, really. Yes, when I got to Nigeria, things have changed. Really, things have moved on. It's been a long time. Anywhere you haven't been in 10 years, really, obviously things would have changed a lot. Things have moved on a lot. People are different. People think differently. People are more accepting. I think in some places, people are more accepting, but people still are rooted in the culture, which is really good. People should be proud of their culture. I am proud to be from Nigeria, but there are things that we can correct. That there's one attitude that actually stinks to me. The fact that everybody thinks that they're better than the next person. Everywhere you go to, people kind of address you by how you dress, something like that, which is very I will be very honest. In England, really, most times, everyone's laid back. And if you see anything about my chats or anything I put on here, really, everyone's laid back. What's the point, really? Even since the pandemic, this is how I go to work. I'm signed on to work now. This is how I go to work. Nobody does any. I personally, I like to dress well. I like to, but things are much laid back. I don't think that I'm just going to a shop. I don't feel the need to dress up. But in Nigeria, most people probably dress up and put a bit more effort, because people, again, the weather is good, so maybe that's why. Yeah, the weather is good, so you could take time to actually wear something nice. But I noticed that almost everywhere, people think that they're better than the next person. They're definitely better. They like to talk down on other people. It's just a thing. If they like to, not particularly, it didn't happen to me. I don't think I particularly had anybody that talked down to me, because I don't think that would happen. I don't think I'll let that slide. But people like to do that, and there were a few occasions where I felt that I had to say, to be honest, clearly, if anybody's watching from Nigeria, I just honestly, there's nobody better than anybody. We have opportunities, and opportunities as that we have, the opportunity that we have has made us, maybe that has given us like a different view to somebody else. It's not that we're better than the other person. The opportunity you have, that other person you think that you're better off than, could have taken it and run with it, and done a lot more than you've done with it, really. The opportunity that some of us have stood on is, we've stood on our parents being of a certain job, being educated, and then we have been able to get a different exposure, different education, really. It doesn't mean we're better than the other person that didn't actually get that type of education, because education doesn't have to always be formal. And that's the thing, again, with Nigeria. Education has to be formal. People feel that if you have informal education, you have no common sense. Formal education does not equal common sense. There are a lot of numbnuts that have PhDs. So education, really, formal education, is not equal to common sense. And speaking English, really, that's one of the other things in Nigeria. Speaking English is not equal to common sense. A lot of people will speak well, but they have no common sense whatsoever. Really, they cannot discern what is right from what is not, and they speak English. So it's not equal to common sense at all, really. The environment, as lovely as the environment is in Nigeria, there's a lot of judgment, really. It's just constantly judging people, putting people down. Putting people down is a lot, really. Again, before I forget, to those at the bank, those that work at the bank, oh my goodness, I don't know what they think they're doing. I don't know. They are just them frontline workers at the bank, cashiers or tellers or whatever they call them, and they think they have the right to actually talk down on people. Again, this didn't happen to me, but I just looked around. The day I went to the banking hall a few times, because I had to do my BVN. You just look around and you see how they just talk to people like these people are not the customers. They're just, one or two of them are quite okay. They're all right. But when they see you of a certain appearance, they are they're very Sama, and that Sama thing is not being respectful. I'll be honest. If you don't know, I never say any Sama to a lot of people. I can't remember the last time I did that, but I do respect people's space, really. But in Nigeria, they think they're respecting you by saying Sama, but they're very disrespectful to a lot of people. They will allow elderly people to stand for a long time. They will talk to them anyhow, just because they're not digitally inclined, because they don't know what you've asked them to do online. You talk to them anyhow, really. That's not right. As a customer facing service, service really. A lot of banks need to do right really, and I think the bank is giving them training, but some of them have this horrible attitude, as well as MTN. I'm going to put their name out there. MTN. Oh, absolutely, the Yaba office, the staff, they're absolutely rude. Absolutely rude, because I went to another office which was at I think Oshodi, and amazing. I still have one of the staff, I still have their contact number, and they knew what they were doing. Apparently, I think those at the Yaba office were not trained properly, and it's anyway. I will leave that to rest. But companies also need to do right and train their staffs and let them know that there's a certain way you speak to customers. Some of the things that they're doing will not actually be acceptable anywhere else apart from Nigeria. I think it would not be acceptable to talk to people like that, even if they are not your customers. There should still be a certain level of common sense when you're interacting with people. Yes, but anyway, that's by the way really. Yes, so but there were loads of great things about Nigeria, loads of amazing things. Like, for instance, it was good to just walk around and see everyone looks like you really. It was good to walk around for and then see people that would just ordinarily just talk to you, not about the weather. I honestly, sometimes I know I do the weather talk, but sometimes it's a bit of a nuisance. But you see people talk to you ordinarily about maybe growing up somewhere or something. You see people that say, oh, you look familiar, where did you go to school, and something like. Anyway, that's how Nigeria is. It was good to be in a marketplace. I'd never been to that Tejo show market before really, so I went there. It was good to be just in an open market. I haven't been in any open market in a long time really, and just it was a mixture of having a social moment and a cultural moment for me as well. Yeah, there were loads of good things. There were good food. You get really good food in Nigeria. Amazing food. Really, it was good to see family and friends. It was good to see my really little ones that when I saw them last, they babies really, and it was nice. It was just nice being around a lot of people that I knew really, and I was able to see quite a lot of people that I wanted to see. So that it was a good experience overall, really good experience being in Nigeria. If you haven't been for a while, I will recommend that you go. And all this what people talk about insecurity and all that type of thing. It's there, but really when you're on ground, it's not as projected as is done on the media. When you're on ground, I don't think there was a time, there was a particular situation where I felt very, very unsafe really, and this was by the police really. The police stopped us. I felt very unsafe. They were harmed. It was three police officers, and they were angry, and I don't really know what's going on, but that was the only moment throughout my time in Nigeria. I was in Nigeria 5 or 6 days throughout my time in Nigeria that I felt unsafe. It didn't last for more than 2 hours really, but it was a really heated 2 hours, and you can see how things can escalate really. Yes, but Nigeria is quite safe, is very safe. You probably do need to know where you go. Yes, but it's a safe country, and hopefully as the years go by it will become even safer really. Yes, it will become safer. So it's a good country with good experience, and I'm happy. I will still do a video. I keep saying this about setting up a business in Nigeria, setting up a business, especially as women really. I think it would have been a different scenario if we were men. Some things that we went through, we wouldn't have had to go through it really. And even the experience of getting that my NIN and that BVN thing done, it was an experience really. It took me, I think, literally 4 or 5 days. All my stay there, I literally had to be going to that office to get the thing done. Nothing is as it should be. Nothing is as is described really. There's extra stress. Sometimes you have to tip people here and there, which is, I don't really want to do that. It's not something that I really want to do, but sometimes you just have to be. I suppose people don't take it as a bribe or tip. They just take it as you being nice to them really. And everywhere you go, people are asking you, people are hassling you for money. That's one thing I didn't like. Again, people hassling you for money. You come out of a restaurant, you come out of the bar, you come out of the toilet, toilet, for instance, people are hassling you for money everywhere. It's a bit too much. People need to calm down on that. It's too much. If you, even at the airport, really, as you make at the airport, there was so many points where you meet staff, really, they're hassling you for money left, right, and center. They're asking. But the good thing now is, in those days, like a long time ago, this is going back about 20 years, they would hassle you and maybe harass you a little bit. They're not harassing you this time. They hassle you a little bit, and then you say you haven't got, they let you move on maybe within 1 or 2 minutes. Really, they're not too bothered as such. They don't keep you waiting. And I must say thank you to the airport officials. When I landed in Nigeria, I didn't have a phone. I didn't really know what I was thinking. I thought that there would be Wi-Fi, so I'll be able to call, but there was no Wi-Fi. But one of the airport staff actually gave me his phone to use. Another one gave me £200 to get a trolley, 200 naira to get a trolley. So I did 200 or 300, yes, to get a trolley. And he gave me, because he said we were born in the same place. When he checked my passport, we were born in Ibadan together. Anyway, not together, we were born in Ibadan anyway. And yes, everybody was friendly. When you come off, everybody's friendly. You get a good sense of yeah, being in Nigeria, really. Whether it's a sense of being home, I personally, this last time I went, I didn't get a sense of being at home, because home is, I'm not going to go too much into that. I didn't get a sense of it. It wasn't my home. I got a little bit of a sense of a visitor. I felt comfortable in so many places, but I had a definite sense that this wasn't particularly my home, really. There's nothing, yeah, it wasn't particularly my home, but it was a good trip, really. But this is my opinion. So this is my opinion. You might feel differently if you go, but for those that have never been to Nigeria, if you're not from Nigeria, you've never been to, you've heard about it, it's amazing. The people are warm, honestly. The people are warm, friendly, good weather, great weather, great food. So what else do you want? Go to Nigeria. If you haven't been before, go to Nigeria. I can recommend, if you want to go to Nigeria on a tour, I can recommend a company called Kakiri. It's owned by a very good sister of mine, really. I'm going to check with her. I might put the link of the company below. So if you want to do a tour to Africa, Ghana, and Nigeria, that's something she can organize for you. It will be absolutely beautiful. You will be at the places that are really lovely, places that show the rich culture of Africa, actually. Looking at it again from the West African eye. So because Africa is quite big, really, a lot of people just say Africa is quite big, and we're all very different. So don't let anyone fool you by saying I'm going to Africa. They go to just one country. So anyway, that's me, just that's all my rambling done for this week, and I hope to see you all next week. I think I'm going to try and start doing maybe one chat and one video. We'll see how that goes. But I hope to see you all next week. Don't forget to like this post, share with somebody else, and God bless you. Bye.